Now, this young man's father's name is Frank. We were kind of shooting emails back and forth trying to figure out how we could go about this, and he asked me, well, do you have some kind of like notification or certificate or something that I could give my son on his birthday? And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm trying to finish up this video right now, so while I'm sitting in front of the camera, let me just record a quick 30-second thing saying something like, hi Brennan, happy birthday, I hope you're having a good one. By the way, we're gonna go flying. I told his dad, I said, hey, when you show it to him, I want you to record it, and I want to see that clip. So you just have to see it. Watch his reaction.
All right, push play.
Hello, Brennan. This is Josh Flowers from the Mr. Aviation 101 YouTube channel, and I'd like to say, first of all, happy 11th birthday, and I hope you're having a good one. Got a bit of a surprise for you. Your dad reached out to me and told me that you were a big fan of the YouTube channel, and that you would be super excited to take a discovery flight with me. I'm happy to tell you that around the first weekend of February, you'll be going up in an airplane with me on a discovery flight. I hope you're as excited as I am, and I can't wait to meet you guys and take you up on a flight lesson. Once again, I hope you have a happy birthday, Brennan, and I will see you very soon.
Wow.
I didn't fly with him!
Aircraft 42 and 44 bound for Texas, high loss and flight service. One landing at Atlantic will be at your own risk. Use caution to non-movement area. The wind is 21014. 10 November Delta, Roger. Expect on course Shirley. Your radar contact advised you evaded. Juliet current now. They're advertising visual to 17.
I've been anxiously waiting to film this video for quite a while now. This young man's father reached out to me via email. He's a pilot for United. He sent me an email just kind of saying, you know, hey, we live out in the hill country. My son is really interested in flying and he loves your YouTube channel. He already knows about flying and he's been up with his dad many times and his grandfather many times, but his father said he's such a big fan of the YouTube channel that he wanted to see if we could set something up so he could go fly with me.
Good. Good, how are you? Hey, Brennan.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. How you doing, Frank?
Yeah, good to meet you.
My boy, who just turned 11, started watching Mr. Aviation 101 on YouTube about I don't know, 8 or 9 months ago. I reached out and asked if you'd be willing to do something special for a young man that is very interested in aviation, and he's only 11 years old, but being a pilot myself, I didn't want him to feel like I was pushing him. I really want him to have a love and a fire for aviation, and not necessarily just for airlines. It could be anything, military, corporate. And so we just thought, hey, why don't we reach out to Mr. Aviation 101, and we, over time, were able to finally pull this thing together, and that's why I'm here today.
I give the nose strut down here a good look. Make sure that everything's intact and the tire looks good, the tread looks good, the valve stem's in place, and that's a pretty good amount of shiny metal there to see on the strut. So given that Brennan, this young man, he's a huge fanatic about the YouTube channel. He loves the channel, loves the videos, and he's been dying to meet me. That's just such a cool thing, and I of course, when I started the YouTube channel, I never imagined that it would get to this point, but I've just put a lot of heart and soul into it over the years, and I guess some people out there appreciate it, which is really nice to know. We check the control surfaces here, so we push this aileron up and we want to see the other aileron go down. Well, we'll grab the checklist real quick and we'll go over it and just make sure that we caught everything and we nailed everything on the list, and then we'll, as soon as they get the airplane out of the way, we'll pull the airplane out and be ready to go. So after we finished up the pre-flight inspection, I showed Brennan, you know, all the little things that we have to do. We checked the fuel, checked the oil, made sure everything was good and topped off. And then it was time to pull the airplane out, kick the tires, and light the fires. When to let go of the key, and then when you let go of the key, the engine should start running, and then we'll adjust the throttle to get 1,000 RPM. All right, so we're looking out the window. Go ahead and turn the key to start. All right, waiting for it to fire. Waiting for it to fire. All right, now pull the throttle back. There you go, and we want to push it in just a little bit, Take it up to 1,000 RPM. There you go. That's how you start an airplane. Very good. Alright, so the purpose of doing this is to put the nose into the wind, so the wind is kind of coming right into the cowling. Alright, so throttle, go ahead and advance the throttle up to 1,700 RPM, and we're holding the brakes. Very good. Okay, so magnetos. We're going to check the magnetos, so we want to go from both, one click over to the left, and you see the drop, and we want to go back to both and let it recover. Now we go to the right, 2 clicks over, we see the drop, bring it back to both, and we want it to recover. Next thing on the checklist is carburetor heat. We're going to pull the carburetor heat all the way out. There you go. We get a little bit of a drop. Push the carburetor heat back in. And it recovers. Very good. Alright, suction is sufficient. Engine instruments are in the green. Our fuel gauges are sufficient. We've got plenty of fuel. Got 23 gallons. And engine instruments are in the green. And ammeter, we just want to make sure that it's charging. And we'll shut off the alternator. We get a warning light and we show a discharge. So we turn that back on and it recovers. So now we can pull the throttle back to 1,000 RPM. Alright, very good. So what we're going to do is we're going to advance the throttle to full. We're going to take about 3 seconds to go to full. 1, 2, 3. That's about how long it should take. And then once we're at full throttle, we're going to hold it there. And as we get going down the runway, I want you to be on the controls, but I'm going to be on the rudder. So I'll handle the rudder. And I want you to be on the controls, and I'll be helping you with it. Once we get to about 60 knots, we're just going to ease the yoke back a little bit.
Rotate.
And we'll rotate, and we'll begin flying. Do you have any questions?
I have no questions.
All right.
Just excited.
As you should be. Ken, do you have any questions?
I'm good.
All right. San Marcos Tower, Skyhawk 80991, ready for VFR departure, runway 26, intersection Delta.
Did 60.
60 knots, yeah.
Stage 991, San Marcos Tower, Roger, hold short, 26, I'll get you out momentarily.
Hold short, runway 26, 80991. So I'm kind of listening to what's going on the radio here, and I'm getting a big picture of, like a mental picture of...
Stage 991, runway 26 at Delta, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 26 at Delta, 80991. All right, we'll go ahead and close your window over here. And get my window closed here. Transponder is on, altitude, carpete's cold, mixture is rich, flaps are up, fuel selectors on both, trim set for takeoff, strobe lights on. We're clear right except for that Cherokee coming in, and we are clear left. I'll get us lined up, and I'll be on the rudder.
And 18 November, where are you parking?
Okay, so go ahead and get your left hand on the yoke and your right hand on the throttle.
13, left turn on Delta,
And I'm on the rudder. When you're ready, begin advancing the throttle. We'll go all the way to full throttle. All the way to full throttle, a little faster.
And contacting ground.
Yeah, left turn on Delta.
There you go.
My apologies, left turn on Delta.
And we're going to hold that throttle there. I'll go ahead and hold it for you.
This is 03.
So our airspeed's coming up. Coming up through 55 knots. There's 60. Go ahead and ease back. And we're in the air. And we're going to hold the nose down just a little bit until we get to about 76 knots. And that's going to be our optimal climbing speed. I'm going to trim the nose down just a little bit for you. And we're going to ease the nose down just a little bit. Get a little more climb speed. There we go. What do you think?
I love it.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
Anytime there's an airport, the one thing he points out is, hey, look, there's an airport, Dad. As if, we haven't noticed, but that's what kids do for parents. They constantly remind us how innocent life can be and how we get so bogged down with the busyness. And the one thing that constantly stands out is when he mentions airplanes, because he says a lot of things that, unfortunately, just out of habit, we kind of drown down and don't hear, but I always hear the aviation part of his talk every day. He's making models all the time, watching airplane movies or airplane videos, and always on the Microsoft Flight Simulator, constantly trying to fly, ILS approaches and asking me if I can help, and we sit down and kind of go through things. When I was growing up, there wasn't anything like that, and I would have relished in something like that, and so of course we encourage him.
San Marcos Tower, Ferry 480 is localized approach 13, circle 17.
Ferry 480, San Marcos Tower. Roger, advise circle north field for right base 17.
Right, double advise circle north of the field for right base 17, Ferry 40. Yeah, any chance we can do a overhead field left circle?
Doing a very good job. What is good to learn right off the bat and get down is learning how to fly visually and just being able to look outside and pretty much maintain your altitude, maintain your heading by looking outside.
By the horizon?
By the horizon, and you get what's called a sight picture. Phenomenal job holding that altitude.
United 646, descend to maintain 2,800.
2,800, United 646.
And whenever you're ready, we can start a left-hand turn.
55, 64, contact.
And a good thing to do before we turn is we want to lift that left wing up.
19.8, Scotch 55.
And we want to see if there's any airplanes in the way. And then when we see that it's clear, we can begin our left-hand turn. Make sense? That's kind of a nuance of flying a high-wing airplane. You gotta lift that wing up.
After 68 Papa Hotel there.
Papa Hotel, Redbird, we do have Kilo, we're ready to go.
Good job. You're maintaining some really good positive control of the airplane. Good job.
Stand by one.
San Antonio approach, Delta 1871, information Bravo to cross marks at 13, passing 17.
I was absolutely blown away by Brennan's performance. You know, I told him we'll take off runway 26, and we're gonna go straight out, we'll circle Canyon Lake and come back into the airport. We took off, and I told him, you know, use the pitch of the airplane, we're gonna keep it at full throttle, use the pitch of the airplane to control your speed. And he understood that, he understood what that meant. He was able to hold a VY climb all the way up to 3,000 feet, and then we leveled off at 3,000 feet. We started to pull the power back, trimmed it out, and I said, okay, let's kind of fly towards that edge of the lake, because we're VFR, I'm trying to give him visual cues instead of telling him to fly a heading, and let's maintain 3,000 feet. And man, he just didn't have any problems doing that. I was hands off. I was hands off. Once we got up to cruise and we leveled off, I was hands off. I didn't have to help him with anything. I didn't really have to talk him through anything either. He understood what that meant, and he was able to fly it. I was very impressed with his performance. It was awesome.
Charlie Craft, San Antonio information. Charlie is current now. The wind 130 at 3. Cessna 6623 Zulu, San Antonio.
So there's the dam right off our left.
San Antonio, altimeter 2987. 87.
I never really paid attention to the dam too much. I didn't know there were cliffs right there by it. That's really pretty.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's start a little bit of a left turn. And let's kind of turn almost east.
Over 2 o'clock, about a mile and a half, turning southeastbound. Cessna has been maneuvering out there, and we're not talking to him.
Your Shiner flight has traffic in sight.
Roger.
San Marcos Tower, Skyhawk 80991.
We're 60991, San Marcos.
That was 80991. We're Cessna 172 maneuvering over Canyon Lake 3000. I'd like to proceed back inbound for full stop information. Kilo, I believe it was.
80991, okay. Enter right downwind, runway 17, report the downwind.
Enter right downwind 17, report the downwind 80991. Alright, so this heading is actually perfect. It's pointing us straight towards the airport.
Alright.
Marcus Tower, Mooney 6896, November, so shorter runway 17.
Doing a really good job. Good job. So we're going to enter a right downwind for 17. You know what that means?
Yes.
Okay.
1796,
The runway 17 is kind of going like this. So we want to come up to the runway and we want to turn and put it on our right side. Alright, I have the flight controls.
Alright.
And I just want you to kind of pay attention, feel along with me, and if nothing else, enjoy the ride.
Alright.
So what we're going to do, we see runway 17 on the far side of the airport there. So we're going to turn on a right downwind.
Uniform Juliet, turn right there on runway 26.
Alright, runway 26.
Got about 200 feet to go. Tower Skyhawk 80991, just getting ready to turn on the right downwind 17.
Cessna 991, tower runway 17, clear to land.
17 clear to land, 80991. Okay, so my procedure is when I'm abeam the numbers, when I'm lined up with the numbers, I pull the carb heat out, and throttle's going to come back to 1,500 RPM. I'm going to hold the yoke back and maintain this altitude. Let the speed drop in down into the white arc. When we're in the white arc, we can drop the first notch of flaps. 1,000, 2,1,000, 3,1,000. There's 10 degrees of flaps. Alright, we're going to make our right turn. Turn onto our, what's this leg of the pattern called? Do you remember?
Base.
That's right, this is a right base, because the airport is on our right side. I'm going to give it a little bit of power here, coming down through 1,300, so we're turning on a base leg here. And then I'm going to continue this turn around to final. And that's actually okay because we've got quite a ways to go until we have to turn off the runway. So that's okay if we're just a little bit high. I'll add a touch more flaps. Maybe about 2 more seconds worth of flaps. And the gauge over here is showing 30 degrees. I'm just keeping this glide path right here, and we can afford to go just a little bit lower, which is okay. Coming down through 65 knots. So we're going to start what's called the round out. So we're starting to arrest that descent. And then power comes to idle, and this is what's called the flare. So we're holding the airplane off the pavement. We want to touch the main gear first. There's the left. There's the right. There's the nose. That was a crosswind landing. And then we just let the airplane roll out. And I'm holding a little bit of back pressure on the yoke just to keep the nose from completely
991, turn right on runway 26.
Turn right, runway 2680, 991. What'd you think?
I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Very cool.
This is the reason that I make these videos, and this is the reason that I became a flight instructor. You know, I talk a lot in my videos about chasing your dreams and chasing down your passion, and when you have a goal, you have a dream, you need to just consider it. And if that dream or that passion is aviation, awesome, do it, and perhaps one day I can even help you out with that. But I think the main thing that I try to convey in my videos is it really doesn't matter what your passion is or what your goals, what your dreams are, you just have to have something. You have to figure out what really gets the blood moving through your veins, what gets your heart going. Figure out what that is, and just take the first step to move towards it. And once you got through that step, then you're one step closer. And that gives you encouragement to take the next step. And that gives you even more motivation to take the next step. If you want to work towards your goals and make progress towards your goals, you need some motivation to get you going. It's just like pump priming an old carbureted engine on an old truck. There's fuel in the tank, the engine's ready to run, but it's not going to be able to do it by itself. It needs a little bit of motivation, so you just got to help it out, pump the gas pedal, pump some fuel into the carburetor. And then once that first cylinder fires, that's all it takes. Once that first cylinder fires, the engine becomes self-dependent and it begins running through its cycles by itself. Ultimately, that's why I make these videos, because all of us in this world, we have that fire inside of us that's ready to be lit, but most of us just don't find the spark to ignite it. That's why I make the videos. Everybody needs just a little bit of help, just a little bit of motivation, just a little primer to get started. And whenever I can, I try my best to be that person, be that primer. I hope you liked this video. If you did, I encourage you to hit that like button because that really helps me tell what people liked and what they didn't. And if you want to see more videos like this and of other varieties of aviation videos, go down, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to turn on notifications so you get notified when the next video comes out. If you want to be a part of and support these videos, patreon.com/MrAviation101 is where you can go to do that. It allows creators to connect and be supported by their fans, which would otherwise not really be possible or feasible. If you sign up on Patreon, you determine how much you want to pledge per video, and based on how much you pledge, you get certain perks like bonus access and early access to videos. Until next time, guys, I challenge you to make somebody's day, pay it forward, be the motivation that somebody needs to get their dreams started. Give them a little encouragement and be that primer. I want you to stay happy, stay healthy, stay current, and stay proficient. We'll catch you later.